After 70, losing leg strength doesn't happen overnight. It starts when the body stops getting what supports its structure. It's not just a lack of exercise, it's a lack of the right raw materials, used with strategy. Machiavelli would get this in a heartbeat. No territory stays strong without adequate supply lines. And your legs are the territory that sustains your autonomy. The first food Machiavelli would choose is real-deal protein, not the fake stuff. Meat, eggs, fish. Legs lose power when the body enters a silent protein deficit. This happens because many people eat less out of fear, comfort, or just old habits. Without enough protein, the body strips muscle to survive. And muscle on your legs isn't about aesthetics. It's about balance, reaction time, the ability to get up, climb, and hold steady. A ruler who can't stand on their own 2 feet loses power fast. Protein maintains mass, but it also sends a clear signal to the body. This structure is still necessary. The body responds by keeping fibers active, improving recovery, and preserving coordination. It's not about excess, it's about regularity. The common mistake is treating protein as optional after 70. It becomes essential. The second food is natural fat, the kind that stabilizes the nervous system and improves muscle communication. Well-chosen animal fats, real olive oil, quality butter. Legs don't just rely on muscle, they rely on nerves. Without an efficient nerve signal, there's no coordinated strength. Natural fats support that communication. Industrial oils do the exact opposite. They inflame, disrupt, and weaken the response. Many people cut fat out of old-school fear. The result is a slow mind, weak muscles, and lousy recovery. A body that doesn't get good fat goes into economy mode. It saves strength. It saves reaction speed. It saves movement. Machiavelli would never allow this. He'd know that stability comes from a well-fed system, not a deprived one. The third food is dense vegetables, not just garnish. Leafy greens, veggies that require actual chewing, simple roots. They provide the minerals that back up muscle contraction, balance, and endurance. Potassium, magnesium, micronutrients that ward off cramps, stiffness, and progressive weakness. It's not about exaggerated amounts, it's about constant presence. Legs fail when the body loses minerals and intracellular water. This doesn't show up in standard blood work at first. It shows up in shaky movement, difficulty getting up, a sensation of heaviness. Dense vegetables correct this silently as long as they aren't swapped out for processed or mushy versions. Machiavelli wouldn't pick foods based on a healthy label. He'd choose based on effect. He'd observe, does this sustain strength? Does this maintain reaction speed? Does this preserve autonomy? If the answer was no, it wouldn't have a place at the table. These 3 foods don't work in isolation. They work as a system. Protein supports structure. Fat stabilizes command. Dense vegetables maintain support. Together they tell the body, keep running. Leg strength after 70 isn't a genetic privilege. It's a consequence of repeated choices. Whoever eats to maintain presence keeps their mobility. Whoever eats out of inertia loses territory inch by inch. It's not about a complex diet. It's about clear priorities. Removing what weakens you and keeping what sustains you. Eating to preserve function, not just to fill a routine. The legs respond fast when they realize they're still needed. Machiavelli would understand that whoever keeps strength in their legs keeps power over their own time. Because whoever moves with security decides when to go, when to stay, and when to act. And that, after 70, is worth more than any empty promise. These 3 foods don't prolong life by magic. They preserve something more important, the capacity to remain standing in your own command. There's a detail almost no one notices when talking about leg strength after 70. It's not just about muscle, it's about biological confidence. The legs weaken when the body stops trusting that it will be used. And that trust doesn't just come from movement. It comes from the nutrition that sustains the whole system. When these 3 foods are present consistently, something changes in the feeling first, before it changes in the mirror. The body starts to feel more stable. The floor feels firmer. The step gets less hesitant. This isn't psychological in the weak sense of the word. It's the nervous system recalibrating its response because it realizes it has enough support to act. Without adequate protein, the body goes into conservation mode. It decides that keeping muscle on the legs is too expensive, so it downsizes. This doesn't happen in weeks. It happens over months of silent deficit. People think they aged fast, when in reality, they were dismantled bit by bit due to a lack of raw materials. Without enough natural fat, the problem is different. The strength might be there, but the coordination fails. The legs seem to not respond on time. Balance gets shaky. The risk of falling goes up. Good fat isn't just raw fuel, it's insulation, signaling, neural protection. A body without it acts with a lag, and a lag, in movement, costs you. And without dense vegetables rich in real minerals, the body loses efficiency. Muscle contraction gets weak. Recovery drags on. Cramps show up. Stiffness increases. Not because the muscle is old, but because the internal environment doesn't favor continuous operation. The muscle exists, but it doesn't get what it needs to work right. Many try to solve this with exercise alone. They walk, do physical therapy, follow protocols. That helps, but without strategic nutrition, progress stalls. The body won't build anything relevant if it doesn't have the material. Movement without support turns into wear and tear. Support without movement turns into waste. Real power comes from the combination. Machiavelli would never separate strategy from logistics. He knew soldiers tire without supplies. Your legs are your soldiers. They sustain your autonomy, your mobility, your ability to choose where to be. Without strength in them, the world shrinks. You start avoiding places, stairs, trips. The territory of your life gets smaller, and it all starts to look normal for your age. It's not. It's predictable, not inevitable. When you keep these three foods as a base, the body understands that it's still worth investing in the legs. It keeps fibers active, preserves reflexes, sustains posture. This doesn't turn anyone into an athlete, but it stops the silent decay that steals independence. Another common mistake is consuming these foods irregularly, eating well one day, badly the next week. The body doesn't respond to sporadic intentions, it responds to patterns. Leg strength is built on repetition, not occasional effort. A little bit, done well, always. Machiavelli would choose constancy over enthusiasm. He wouldn't change everything at once. He'd guarantee the essential was never missing. Protein at every main meal. Good fat present. Dense vegetables taking up real space on the plate. Simple, direct, sustainable. Over time, the difference shows up where it matters most. Getting out of a chair without excessive effort, climbing a step without thinking, walking without fear of tripping. That is physical power translated into practical life. That's what maintains dignity after 70. These three foods aren't a promise. They are a tool, and whoever uses the right tool keeps control. You don't ask for leg strength, you build it. And the body, when it perceives a strategy, responds. There is a final error that stops many from maintaining leg strength after 70, even while eating the right foods, treating nutrition as an isolated solution. The body doesn't work in separate pieces. It works as an integrated command, and legs only remain strong when they understand they're still part of the daily strategy. Eating protein, natural fat, and dense vegetables creates a base. But the base needs to be used, not to prove endurance, but to maintain function. The legs need to feel that they are still necessary to lift, support, move, react. When nutrition provides support and movement confirms the order, the body cooperates. When there's a contradiction, it hesitates. Many eat better but keep living as if their legs were disposable. They pull themselves up with their hands. They avoid standing up. They sit down too soon. They seek immediate comfort. The body interprets this as a clear message. Don't invest here. And so, even when nourished, it reduces capacity. Nutrition without command turns into minimum maintenance, not strengthening. Machiavelli would see this as a failure of leadership. It's no use supplying the troops if they are never mobilized. The body needs to see coherence between what it receives and what is demanded of it. When you eat to sustain strength but live as if you don't need it, the system enters a conflict. And in internal conflicts, the body chooses the most economical path. Another decisive point is the fear of falling. This fear paralyzes more than any initial muscle weakness. A person starts avoiding natural movements, shortens their stride, stiffens their body. This makes balance worse, not better. Legs need confident movement to maintain reflexes, and confidence is born when the body is well fed and well used. The three foods work because they give internal security. They tell the body, there are enough resources to react. But you need to complete the message with daily action. Standing up without rushing but without avoiding it. Walking with posture. Using stairs when possible. Holding your own weight with intention. Nothing extreme. Nothing heroic. Just presence. After 70, leg strength isn't built with intensity, but with intelligent consistency. Eating right every day. Moving every day. Sleeping so the body recovers. Avoiding what inflames and confuses. Keeping what sustains. Machiavelli would never look for shortcuts. He'd keep the basics running well. And the basics, in the body, are simple. Nourished structure, stable nervous system, constant use of the capabilities that still matter. When this happens, something changes beyond physical strength. The mental posture changes. The person goes back to making decisions with more firmness. Hesitation decreases. Life stops being organized around the fear of falling, tiring, or not being able to handle it. The territory expands again. These three foods don't promise youth. They sustain autonomy. And autonomy after 70 is the most concrete form of power. The power to come and go. The power to choose. The power not to depend. Whoever keeps strength in their legs keeps their own rhythm. And whoever keeps their own rhythm still governs their own life. In the end, leg strength after 70 reveals something much bigger than physical condition. It reveals who is still governing. A body that stays firm, capable of holding its own weight and responding to the environment, is a body that has received clear orders for a long time. Coherent, repeated, silent orders. The three foods Machiavelli would choose aren't special on their own. They are special because they don't betray the system. They don't inflame. They don't confuse. They don't drain energy. They sustain what maintains basic physical power, structure, signal, and support. When that is guaranteed, the body stops fighting against you and starts working in your favor. After 70, the most common mistake is waiting for external signs to act, waiting for a fall to strengthen, waiting for pain to adjust, waiting for a loss to try and recover. Machiavelli would never govern like that. He'd understand that power is maintained before the crisis, not after. And in the body, that means acting while there is still margin. Strategic nutrition creates that margin. It prevents the loss of strength from accelerating. It slows down the decline that many call natural, but which is actually just progressive abandonment. When you provide the body what it needs to sustain the legs, you buy time. And time, when used well, turns into autonomy. It's not about living thinking about muscle. It's about living thinking about function. Legs are pure function. They carry, sustain, react. When they fail, everything shrinks. The house feels smaller. The paths get shorter. Decisions start being made with fear in the background. No ruler accepts that without a fight. And fighting, here, isn't about overdoing it. It's about keeping the essential non-negotiable. Enough protein so you don't fall apart. Good fat so you don't lose neural command. Dense vegetables so you don't fail on the details, day after day. No drama, no constant exceptions, no negotiating with your own weakness. Machiavelli wouldn't trust enthusiasm. He'd trust habit. The body does too. When you sustain these three foods as a base, the body understands that there is still a project. It keeps fibers. It keeps reflexes. It keeps balance. Not out of hope, but out of logic. Well-supplied systems keep working. And then, almost without realizing it, something changes. You walk with more firmness. You get up with less effort. You occupy space again. Not because you went back in time, but because you stopped ceding territory. That is real power, not symbolic. After 70, whoever maintains leg strength keeps something rare. The capacity to decide without asking their own body for permission. And as long as that capacity exists, personal power hasn't been lost. It's just being exercised with more wisdom. Machiavelli would use these three foods because they don't promise anything beyond what they deliver. They sustain, and whoever sustains the base stays standing. There is a decisive point that separates those who keep leg strength after 70 from those who lose it. Even while eating right, the ability to sustain choices when no one is watching. The body responds less to speeches and more to silent coherence. It observes what is repeated, and it repeats what it observes. Many start well and quit when they don't see immediate results. But leg strength isn't built to impress, it's built to remain, and remaining requires strategic patience. Machiavelli would never confuse speed with effectiveness. He'd choose the pace that wins in the long run. When the dietary base is correct, the body starts investing where it matters. It reinforces support fibers, improves coordination between nerve and muscle, preserves balance. This doesn't explode in visible gains overnight. It appears as the absence of loss, and avoiding loss, after 70, is already a silent victory. There is also the issue of functional body weight. It's not about the number on the scale, but the capacity to carry yourself safely. Adequate protein prevents mass loss. Natural fat stabilizes the system. Dense vegetables keep the internal environment favorable. This trio creates a body that supports its own weight without complaining, and a body that supports its own weight maintains autonomy. Autonomy changes behavior. Whoever trusts their own legs walks more. Whoever walks more maintains circulation. Whoever maintains circulation preserves reaction. The cycle feeds itself. Strength generates movement. Movement sustains strength. The right food starts the cycle. Consistency keeps it going. There is still one ignored detail. Strategic hydration. Not excess, not neglect. Enough water to keep tissues elastic and nerve conduction efficient. Mild dehydration, common in mature adults, worsens balance and increases stiffness. The body needs internal fluidity to react. Fluidity is power in movement. Machiavelli would also pay attention to the environment. Shoes that let you feel the ground, known surfaces, adequate light. All of this reduces hesitation and keeps confidence in the step. Nutrition prepares the body. The environment confirms the decision to use the legs without fear. And fear is the biggest saboteur. Fear of falling, of tiring, of not being able to handle it. Fear shortens the stride before the weakness even exists. The three foods help because they give back internal security. Security isn't emotional courage, it's a physiological base. A well-nourished body risks fewer errors because it reacts better. After 70, the victory isn't running. It's not retreating. Not retreating from the step. Not retreating from the short walk. Not retreating from standing up without support when it's possible. Every retreat teaches the body to economize. Every maintenance teaches the body to sustain. Machiavelli would always choose what maintains room for maneuver. Legs are physical room for maneuver. When they are strong, life offers options. When they weaken, options vanish. And power is, at its core, having options. The three foods aren't a promise of youth. They are a guarantee of a base. A base allows for decision. Decision allows for an active life. An active life preserves strength. The cycle is simple, but it requires loyalty. After 70, whoever maintains leg strength doesn't live for the body. They live with the body, in agreement. And that agreement starts at the table, is confirmed in movement, and proves itself over time. Whoever sustains the base stays standing. And whoever stays standing still chooses their own path.